Okay, so hey guys, it's me. I'm back with another video, and in today's video we're going to be discussing these 4 books by Lj Shen. So if you don't like her, it's probably best if you click off or just stay tuned, because there are a few things I don't like about these books, but there are a few things I absolutely adore about them. So, also, before I forget, this video is going to contain a lot of spoilers. So, because I'm probably just, I'm pretty much just explaining the whole plot and the storyline of these books. So let's get started. Okay. Okay, so the first book we're going to discuss is My Dark Romeo, since it's one of the first books I've read from Lj Shen. And it had Parker S. Huntington in it as well. I don't know which author that is. I think it might be another pet name for Lj Shen. So in this book, it is basically, you can say, advertised as a dark romance, but it wasn't that dark. It's the typical. So the female lead in this, her name is Dallas, if I'm not wrong. I read this like a few years ago. The main character's name is Romeo, and yeah, her name is Dallas. So she is basically, in a way, a princess from her family, but her family is very conservative in terms of values. She's not allowed to hook up with anyone, right? But this guy, Romeo. Now, Dallas doesn't know he's her father's enemy, right? And she really likes him because he's hot, obviously. So he hooks up with her at an event where all her family's present. And he made sure that everyone saw them hooking up, right? And her father saw it as well, and then he was like very disappointed. And then he was like, you know what, you're gonna marry her. He forced the guy to marry her, and the guy even forced Dallas to marry him, right? After they got married, it was sort of slow. Obviously, she was spoiled, and then she wasn't that used to spending her own money, and then he basically motivated her to study and do stuff. He was very good in terms of that, but I'd say it was like very nice at the time I read it. It was like a TikTok sensation for sure. I mean, right? What did I forget? Okay, yeah, so I forgot to tell you guys that she absolutely hates him for what he's done, because they just kiss, and then, karma. Well, his karma is him getting poisoned, and his wife sort of, him thinking his wife is gonna get hurt. So he's like, touch her and I'll kill you. Oh, and he gets her a lot of books. I mean, that's the only reason I find him to be a green flag, because he gets her a lot of books. He's willing to give her a library, dude. He's willing to make that for her. And like, at the very end, they admit that they love each other. So that's very good. In terms of this, right? Then we've got a book I read. This one I've read recently. Before this, I read a book on Kindle, an Lj Shen book. I think it was Wildest Dreams. Now that was Ryland, and I forgot the girl's name, the FMC's name, but it's sort of interconnected to this book. Now it was older brother's best friend, and a single mom romance, and he was pretty much just an escort, the main guy. He was poor, and he wasn't really in the favor of achieving his dreams. He wanted to, but he couldn't, and so the best friend's sister, right, the one whose name I forgot, basically moved to New York because she was getting suffocated in the small town she used to live in, and her brother already moved with, I'm gonna ruin the other story if I just mention it. So basically they absolutely had an explosive chemistry and connection together. They started fake dating. Her ex came and sort of grabbed her wrist very tightly, and he was like, who did this to you? The iconic trope, dude. And that's where I was like, ooh, I was squealing, seriously. And it was comparatively slow, I think you can say. It was very nice. That's one of the books, one of the first books I've read on my Kindle. I definitely recommend that one as well. Whereas this one took me some time to finish because I had to go on a trip. Then I had my tests going on, And then I was just like very busy in general, but it was a good book. The only reason it was like very slow, and initially I found it very dry, but as I, forced myself to read this later on, it started getting interesting actually. So after like 100 or 150 pages, their chemistry was actually showing. Other than that, it was very dry because it was like flashbacks, and I'm not the type of person who likes flashbacks. I like the books to be in the current. That's like one of the reasons I don't like second chances romance that much. But the tropes of this were sister's best friend, enemies to lovers, second chance. Who did this to you? But it was the FMC that did this. The FMC is a crime junkie. Her name is Cal. She has trauma because a few girls in her high school bullied her and buried her alive, but she developed a fear of men. There was a specific terminology used in this book to describe the fear of men. I don't exactly remember the word, but also this guy is like filthy rich, or he's supposed to be in this book because he's selling land in his town, like historic land, which is why the town hates him. And then he has a stalker. This is a major spoiler. The mayor of this town is one of the girls that bullied the FMC, and the mayor basically hooked up with the guy, and then she tried to sweet talk him into not selling the land, and obviously he didn't listen. And then she also like shit talked the FMC. He just didn't listen to her, and then she was like, oh, I have no other choice. I cannot waste my hard work. People are going to come against me if I let him sell the land, which was like not that big of a deal in reality. She was just like victimizing the town and herself, and then, making the MMC the antagonist, which was pathetic. So she hired a hitman to kill or stab him. That wasn't that defined in the book. And the guy got stabbed, but he survived. And then she was just like in the hospital bed, and she was like, oh my god, I love you. And the guy was like, please don't leave. And she was like, oh, I cannot come, because she has commitment issues. We love a girlie with commitment issues, women in men dominated fields. I mean, he was a sweetheart, the guy. He got stabbed and whatever, he almost died. That was a scene. Oh, did I mention his sister's pregnant? So not with her endgame's child. That's her ex's child, who's sort of abusive. He's a deadbeat father. I don't like that guy. But I love the MMC of that book. So anyways, then together, she's very broke, right? But she is starting her own podcast. The MMC pushes her to start her own podcast. He like rents her a studio and whatever. She lives in New York. He's moving to London. So she, after filming the first episode of her podcast, she goes back to her hometown and is like, is he here? I forgot the guy's name. I'm sorry. His name is Ambrose Casablanca. What do we call him? Dude, all I remember him is this Mac Monster, because that was his like chat name. Where are you, dude? I need your name. Ro. Ooh, that was loud. Ro. His name is Ro. Reminds me of Ro. You're what the fuck away from me. It's like this poem that was like very popular on TikTok. That's like not the PG-13 version though. So, anyways, where was I? I forgot. Yeah, so Ro rented her a place, and then she spent her last money to go to his opening of a new Michelin star restaurant, because he's a very successful chef, and apparently he's very rich now. And she surprised him. Oh, also did I mention she has an injury and she's very clumsy, because of course she is. Oh, and there's one scene in this book where he still doesn't like her, but she gets hurt, and he's literally like, she wasn't dying, it was nothing serious, it was just like a little scuff on her head, I think that's what you call it, and it was bleeding, and he was just like holding her, like cuddling her like she was dying. And his mom was like, she's not dying, and he was like, oh, are you a doctor, do you know? He became so defensive, and he started fighting, and he was like cradling her. Like, it was so cute, when I tell you, trust me. I mean, yeah, definitely. It might be dry at the starting, but it gets very cute later on. I gave this one a 4.5 stars. The one, Wildest Dreams I was talking about, I gave that one 4.5 stars as well. And this one, it was like straight 5 stars for me. Then we've got this one. This was more of a 4.25 stars for me. It was slow, but it wasn't that slow. I mean, come on, it's not even that big. But it's just, I found it hard to, wait. No, this is the other one. I thought this was another book. That one's by Megan Brandy. That's The Kiss Thief. Or something like that. But this is also The Kiss Thief. Just like, so this is a mafia romance, of course. It's not that dark. It's like, if you're a beginner's dark romance, if you're starting it, it's perfect for you. So basically in this, also her family's very conservative. And they kiss. She's in love with another guy, but the guy she's in love with, right? They were planning on getting married, but they don't get married because the senator Wolf Eden, the MMC, wears her childhood crush's mask and kisses her. So he basically stole her kiss, her first kiss that she was supposed to have with the love of her life, right? And then the guy she liked saw that, and he was just like wild. And then he like went to another woman. Like, I mean, dude, why would you go to another woman? Like, be so for real. You cannot just do that. Like, sure, you might have broken up, or it wasn't even confirmed. How do you know? Okay, she might have kissed him back, right? But she thought it was him because he was wearing the same mask as her. And then when the light was also gone, right? So when the light came back on, it was like, oh wow, it's not him. She was just like panicking, right? And after that, the MMC had something against her father, and he saw that the father, basically, she was the most priceless thing for the father at the starting of the book. So he was like, I want her, because he thought he'd have collateral damage. She was basically collateral damage, because he was like, I will threaten her if you don't listen to me. And he was like, oh, please don't. He actually begged him, but he didn't listen because he messed up with his family initially. I don't know, it was something. He messed up with his family, something. I read this a while ago, so I don't remember. But there is this like enemy sort of thing going on. And Francesca, I think that's her name. I think it's Francesca. Yeah, it is Francesca. Was just collateral damage because they weren't exactly enemies, but she didn't like him, right? Oh, also, she's a baddie. Did I mention she's a baddie? She starved herself. She smoked. She just smoked. She does gardening. Also, she gave him shit, dude. It was like he fell first. She fell, but then collected herself and then fell harder. So, there was this, her family basically has this tradition where they have a box from this old person they get, and it basically gives you a few notes in which when you open them, your love, the person you were bound to marry, or your fated mate, sort of, not fated mate, but like the person that's supposed to be your soulmate, has those attributes or has done those things. I don't remember exactly what the chit said, but he basically corrupted all the chits, right? Except the last one. It was him, but her childhood crush came up at the moment when she was pregnant and suffering because she thought that he cheated on her, but he didn't cheat on her. He was just like traveling, and she was just super distressed because she thought, oh, he's not gonna love me and stuff like that. And then she went and he was planning on running away or getting a divorce because their thing was like very messy, right? So that video of her kissing her childhood crush went very popular, and he saw that and he was pissed off, and he was like, oh, you know, our relationship's finished. And then it was more of she explained everything. It got a little calm, and in the end of the big book, we also realized that her father is just an asshole. All he cared about was his business. He didn't care about his daughter that much because he becomes an ass at the end of the book. And I think he also burned the house. I think it's this book. I'm not sure. You're going to have to read it, but I liked it. Now, this one I'm reading, it's an Enemies to Lovers. I got this for my birthday. That's why it's pink. My favorite color is not pink. But my mom got this for me. I am currently on page 162. I absolutely love this. It's sort of hard for me to get into reading this one because I'm in a reading slump. But, you know, I just need a strong coffee. Because when I start reading this, trust me, I'm just like, and just go like that. Because we're reading this and it's obviously like so good. I don't know why. I just love it. But then it's also hard for me to read. I think it's more of like a me thing. I might be becoming like, I might be becoming a mood reader, you know, I'm not that sure. But yeah. I feel like this one I cannot give like a proper review on for now, but I'm really liking it so far. So I mean, I would recommend it for that simple reason. If you're like really into like Lj Shen books, I would recommend it. But if it's your first time trying Lj Shen books, this was my first one. I think you should read this. Read Wildest Dreams, then read this one, then read this one, and then start this series. And there's another series she's coming up with. The name of the second book is Bad Bishop. And then in this series, there is a guy, that the one he's selling his town to. It's a boss ex-secretary romance. Oh, this one is also that, by the way. She's a broke artist living in New York. I don't know. I love that LJ does books in New York, but I sort of wish she, you know, makes them in small towns like Boston. Like, you know, El Kennedy does stuff like that. I love El Kennedy's books. Like, and Windy City, there's just like a few series I really love. Let me know if you guys want a detailed depth review of that, or just like a storyline of it. But yes, so far I would recommend this, but I cannot be 100% sure until I have fully completed this book. Devoured it. I think that's how you pronounce devoured it. I don't know. I don't have caffeine in my system right now. I've already passed all the caffeine, and I've had a lot of water. I had 2 coffees in the morning. Now I'm waiting for my third one, because I'm going to make my third one. And candy's on the bed. And yeah. So that's it for this week's video. Bye, guys.